Hello everybody and welcome back to part 2 of creating a to-do list app using React in Firebase. So in this video we're actually going to be creating the to-do component, and let's just go ahead and continue where we left off in the last video. So I'm just going to show my screen right here and come back over here. So in the last video we left off over here where we were actually going ahead and creating or actually adding the CSS, so inside of app.css. So now what we're going to do is come back to app.js, and basically this is what I'm talking about. So here we don't just want an actual LI, and what we actually want is going to be a component, so we can actually go ahead and reuse it. So here for using a component in React, if you have never used it before, is basically just the component name and just a self-closing tag. So it's a self-closing tag. And that's basically what we want to do. So we will just do this, just to do. But what we want is, right now it's just there, right? But we haven't actually defined it anywhere. So we need to go ahead and create a todo.js file. And that's actually where we're going to add in this actual component. So let's just go ahead and add that todo.js file and just do RAFCE and just hit enter, and that's just going to convert it into this. And basically how I get those snippets is just this extension called ES7 React Redux GraphQL React Native Snippets. Just search for ES7 and you should just get it. So it's a very useful extension. You can save a lot of time with it. So just do RAFCE, do that, and come over here, and now what I'm going to do is give this div a class name of to-do, like so, and I'm actually going to import /to-do.css, like so. So we have to actually go ahead and create that to-do.css file, so to-do.css, and inside of this to-do, you can say component or file, what we're going to have is something called a list item, but not the actual list item, which is the normal HTML tag. Instead, we're going to have it from something called Material UI. So we need to actually go ahead and install Material UI. For that, you just need to go over to materialui.com, and basically this is how we do it. npm install material UI/core, and here, just open up a new terminal and just cd into to-do list app demo, and I'm just going to paste that command in. So npm install, or npmi for short, you can do that, but I'm just going to leave it at that. Material-UI/core at material-UI/core, or else it's not actually going to work. So let's just hit enter, and this is going to take a while to go ahead and install. Okay, and also until then I'm just going to put in a h1 here, which is to do, save it, come over here to app.js. Now if I hit save and I come back over here, we actually get an error. To do is not defined. So for getting over this error, what we need to do is just go to the end of the actual word called to do, and what we need to do is just go ahead and hit control space and just do the auto import trick. Hit save, come over here, and now it just says to do and to do, and that's because we have only two to dos, and you just need to hit refresh. Sometimes it bugs out. Okay, nice. Now back in todo.js. So what we need to do is here we need to pass in a to do, right? So to do is equal to do, which is actually pointing to this. So here we're going to come to todo.js, and here we need to get something called props. And basically there's a way to destructure this inside of ES6. So just do that, curly brackets, and what we need to do is just get each value out of it. So let's do to do. So that's what we're passing in, and here for the h1 we'll just do to do. So we're actually passing in, or what do you say now? Getting the text from here of the actual array and just rendering it out over here. So also save app.js, and here we will just say play badminton and go for a walk. Of course, this doesn't look good, but don't worry, we're going to make it look good. Okay, so Material UI is actually installing. This is just going to take a while. Oh, I don't want to install that. I mean, go to that link. So this is just going to take a while, so I'm just going to pause the recording, and once it's done, I'll be back. So here, as you can see, it's just gone ahead and installed the actual Material UI library. So I'm just going to hit Command J or Control J and hit Control B2. And here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste this in. And we can just clean this up a little bit for now. So here we're just creating a list item, which is from Material UI, then list item text. In primary, let's just do to do. And icon button on click check to do, we can just get rid of that for now. And there's an icon from, what do you say, Font Awesome. On click delete to do, we're actually going to implement that. We'll implement that after we connect the database. So for now, we can just get rid of that. And now if I hit save, and also we need to actually go ahead and import this stuff. So over here, let's do that. Auto import list item text, and also I'm using control space, by the way. Auto import icon button, auto import, and all that's good. So we can just put this in just a single import. So let's just do that. There we are. There we go. Hit save now. Come here. Refresh. So that error is basically, I always get it. So what you basically need to do if you get that same error is just go over here and just restart the actual application. Right now it's compiling, so let's just wait. And yep, as you can see, we get the error. And also, by the way, here for the div, we're just going to change this to an actual list. And only inside of that we can have an actual list item. And just do that. There we go. And let's just call this to do underscore list or something like that. And now what we need to do is just go ahead, and if it shows you this error, you just need to basically hit Control C, which is just going to terminate the actual, app or website, and then just run npm start once again, and this should actually work for you. And until that actually goes ahead and does that, we'll just go over to todo.css and just paste in the CSS. Oops. The CSS is this, right over here. So we target the to-do list, give it a display flex, line item center. They just target the actual icon, the trash icon, color red, font size 20 pixels, and so on. So that's the CSS. And again, if you want the CSS, we can just go ahead and go to the description, and I'm going to leave a link there, and you can just copy paste the CSS from there. If you want, you can just go through this, understand what all of that does, but it's just very simple CSS right over here. Okay, and actually here the to-do list completed. We're not going to implement that in this video, but in the actual next video, which is going to be the part 3. So don't worry about that for now. I'm just going to leave it there for now. So it's actually still just starting up, so let's just wait again. So it's just gone ahead and start up right over here, and as you can see, it actually works. So here, play badminton and go for a walk. And if I just go ahead and add another to do, let's just do test 1 2 3, or let's do something else. Let's do code the to-do list app, like so. And also, I just noticed this problem. When we go ahead and add it to do, after we actually add it, we just need to go ahead and clear out the actual input, right? So let's come over here to app.js, and here, not to do, what we will do is just after we add it, we'll just set the input to be an actual empty string. So let's just do that, hit save, come over here, and now I'm just going to refresh, and let's do here code the to-do list app. Now if I hit enter, as you can see, it actually goes ahead and clears it. Now over here, let's just do read a book. And then if I even click on this button, as you can see, it just goes ahead and submits it. Okay, now the next thing that we want to actually go ahead and do is going to be, let's just connect the database right now. So for that, we will just go over to console.firebase.google.com. So we're going to be using Firebase for the actual database for this application. So console.firebase.google.com, and if you haven't got an account, then you just need a Gmail account and just sign in over here. Now let's add a project, and let's call this todolist app demo. Todolist app demo. Continue. You can enable it or disable it. Google Analytics. So I'm just going to disable it for now. Create project. And basically what this is going to do is just going to go ahead and set up everything that we need for like deployment, then whatnot, right? Deployment, authentication, the database, so Cloud Firestore and the real-time database and all of that stuff. But in this video, we're not actually going to be doing authentication or any of the stuff like that. We're just going to be using the Cloud Firestore database. So let's just go ahead and create the project. So let's just hit continue there. And the first thing that we want to do here is just select this web icon. And over here, let's just type in to-do list app demo. And we will also set up Firebase hosting for this app, so we can actually go ahead and host it using Firebase itself. So now we'll just hit next. Next, we don't really need to care about that. And install Firebase CLI. So if you haven't run this command already, you just need to copy it and just go over here to the second terminal and just paste it. So this is just going to install all the Firebase tools that we need. And we can just leave this for now. We're going to do that in the end when we actually go ahead and finish creating our actual application. Now let's just hit continue or next or whatever it said there, and we should come over here. So the next thing that I'm going to do is just go over to Cloud Firestore, and we're just going to go ahead and enable the actual Cloud Firestore. And actually before that, let's just go over to project settings and just scroll down here, select config, just copy over here. Now we'll come to Cloud Firestore, and basically what that is just a config which will connect our React app with our actual Firebase database. So there, just hit create database and just select store in test mode. Next, just select any location, doesn't really matter. Okay, hit enable. Now we will go ahead and create a new file in VS Code called firebase.js. And over here, what we will do is just paste this in, so the Firebase config. And also what we're going to do is just do import Firebase from Firebase. Wait, is it already installed? I don't think so. I didn't install it. But anyway, just to be safe, I'm just going to install it. So npmi Firebase, like so. And here, as you can see, it's just gone ahead and created the actual database. So I'm just going to start a collection here. The collection ID, let's see here. Let it just be to-dos. Next. And here we'll just select auto ID, and the field is just going to be to-do. And here for the value, we will just do play badminton, like so. So the to-do is going to be play badminton. Just hit save. Now we are actually going to add another document, and this one again, the to-do is just going to be read a book. And we'll just add another one, final one. Let's do to-do. This is from the database, so DB. It's saved. Now I'm just going to explain about the actual structure of this database. So basically you can think of it as an actual, so just think of this collection to-dos as an array, and inside of that array what we have are objects. So this is an object with a value of play badminton. So that's basically how it is. to-dos is an actual collection or array of objects, and the objects actually have this value called to-do and whatever the value of it is. So whatever the to-do is, right? So that's basically what that is. So it's actually just installing Firebase. And until then, what we're going to do is just come down here and we will actually create another variable, which is going to be const Firebase app, which is equal to Firebase dot initialize app using the Firebase config, like so. And then we will create a variable called db, which is going to be equal to Firebase dot firestore, like so. Do that, and then we will just go ahead and export that db. So export default database. So export default db, like so. Just hit save, and that's looking good. And basically another way to write this is going to be just grabbing this Firebase config here, and here instead of Firebase config, just pasting that in. And actually this is an object, so let's just do that, and just getting rid of the Firebase config, like so. And here for the db, what you need to do is just do Firebase app.firestore, like so, and just export default db. So there's another way to go ahead and write that. So there's a way that we're going to be using. So here, as you can see, Firebase is installed, and we can just hide that terminal and just save the firebase.js file and come back into app.js. And now what we're going to do is create something which is called a use effect. So let's just do that. So use effect, and we're just going to go ahead and import this from React. And I'm just going to write in the syntax here, and then I'm just going to explain what it does. So what this basically does is, here are the dependencies, right? So if we leave this blank, what it's going to do is the code inside of here is just going to run once when the actual app component loads. So the code that we're going to put inside of here is just going to be this. I'm just going to paste that in, get rid of that where, because right now we don't really need it. And here we will just go ahead and import the db. So just control space and import it. What we're basically doing here is just going ahead and accessing the db, and we're looking for the collection called to-dos. And inside of that, we're getting on snapshot. So whenever something changes inside of the db, it's going to give us something called a snapshot. And what we're doing is just setting the to-dos to snapshot.docs.map. So we're mapping through all of the documents inside of it, and for each document, what we're doing is just giving it an ID of doc.id, and to-do is going to be doc.data.todo. So basically what that is we're just going ahead and accessing this document, and inside of that, what we're doing is just accessing this field which is called to-do. So that's basically what we're doing right over there. So that's looking good, and this is going to basically run once when the app component loads, and that is because we're actually leaving the dependencies blank. So we're leaving this leaving these square brackets blank. So basically it's just going to run once when the app component loads. So right now I'm just going to get rid of this hard-coded value, hit save, and come back here, refresh. Let's see, and if it gives like an error, we'll just restart it. If it's like cannot find index.js or something like that, you just need to go ahead and restart it. So compiling, let's see. Okay, actually it's actually going to give us an error, or maybe it's just going to work, or it's just not going to work how we need it to. So let's just see about that. So it's just compiling. Yep, it gives us an error. So let's see here, the errors. Yeah. So basically what I'm going to do is just come over here to todo.js, and in here what I'm going to do instead of just to do is going to be todo.todo. So it's basically just accessing whatever the text is. And now it gives us no error. And it's actually pulling it from the database in real time, guys. So for proving that, let's do here, put that there, and we're just going to add another to do. Let's just do to do, and let's do test to do. Now if I hit save, without any refresh, it should pop in right over here. And add, boom! As you can see, it pops in that test to do right over there without any refresh. It's doing that in real time. So it's actually pulling straight from the database right now. Really, really cool. The next thing that we will do is actually go ahead and implement that little delete button. Right now, we click it, nothing really happens. So for the icon button here for the trash, so the trash icon, the icon button, what I'm going to do is just do an on click. And when we actually click on it, let's just do delete to do, like so. And now we need to actually create that function, obviously. So const delete to do, which is equal to an arrow function, like so. And here inside of the arrow function, what we're going to do is just, of course, get the db dot collection, which is going to be the to-dos, and then we're going to get the document, which is with the to-do dot id, and we're just going to delete it, dot delete, like so. Hit save and hopefully this works. So let's see. Save it, come over here, and let's just say we don't really want that test to do, and boom, it went away from the actual database. So right now this is actually going ahead and deleting it from the actual database. So yeah, that's actually pretty much it for this video, guys. And what we're going to do in the next video is just go ahead and implement our actual check button, and we're going to add like a completed to-dos like collection kind of or array, and basically just go ahead and deploy your application. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.